What in the world is going on? Well, let's get you into World War III. Invisible robots deployed. Russia is telling U.S. to pretty much stay out of the way. They deployed in the Black Sea. I told you about that. And now Moscow is saying stay away for your own good with the Ukraine situation going on. Everything all amassing. The Chinese over in the South China Sea flooding Taiwan's defense zone. And every single thing is going on all at the same time. So I want to detail what is the final plan. Where would this lead to? And they've even let out articles talking about, well, you're going to start a new world order. And they're saying this in the most crazy fashion as well. So we're going to talk about that here live today. Thank you all for tuning in. Now, obviously, a lot is going on when it comes down to this conflict. What's going on, everybody? Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you all in the comment section. So let's move on along into this situation. This just came out today. Russia calls U.S. an adversary, warns its warships to avoid Crimea. And at the same time, they deploy freaking robot invisible tanks. So let's get into it here. Another report, April 13, 2021, I want to get into before I show you everything that is not being said about these tanks and everything else that will lead up into it. Also, there's been some drills done, some dry runs from Florida from California actually to Florida that I think we need to be looking into as well, which I'm going to give you that. Somebody said, did you get my email? I checked the emails earlier. I have to go back again. China sends 25 warplanes into Taiwan's air defense zone. Taipei says. So this was the record high level of how much they sent into there. China sends 25 warplanes into Taiwan's air defense identification zone on Monday, the largest breach of space since Ireland began regularly. I'm just coming back to report on that, but I'm mainly reporting on what's happening today. And so basically, one other thing I was just saying to you, the practice runs that the Air Force is doing that happened over the weekend, I'm going to let you hear a little bit of this because this has to line up with something that's going on that we don't know about. So I'm going to go ahead and play this video clip here and let you hear a little bit what's being said.
Again, a 747 jet in the U.S. Air Force One fleet was conducting training landings at the Acadiana Regional Airport in New Iberia. Airport officials say the plane was conducting touch-and-goes and practice runs. They were on a training mission traveling from California to Florida and decided to make a stop in New Iberia. After a few runs, the crew refueled and took off. Officials say the president was
not in there. Our runs are about, and I'm about to talk about this invisible robot, whatever crap they're deploying, that's about to be crazy. So remember Terminator, all the movies and everything else, all the predictive programming is now in front of our faces. So, bam, slap, pat, right into your face. Reality here now meets you. Vladimir Putin to deploy fearsome Russian robot army amid Ukraine warfare. And I was just telling you, the British Army was saying they're going to remove like majority of the troops and then have robots out there. Defense Minister Sergey has paid a trip to 766, there you go, to 66, production of technological enterprise to get a glimpse of Russian unmanned robots in action. So we're going to go into some of this detailed aspect of what's going on and what's going to happen. They're saying, and the U.S. is prepared to unleash these automated tanks, just like you see in all those video games, and they're coming through and they're rolling. They got the big tires, and nobody's in it. Nobody's in it at all. So again, Russia developed swarms of invisible robo-tanks that could destroy entire cities. This report came out in minutes. Experts warns. I'm going to show you some of the video clip of what they're showing here in this clip. But this is what's going on. They're now basically unleashing the sci-fi war tanks, and also not just them, the U.S. is going to be doing the same exact thing, and this is going to bring out the AI tech wars that we was talking about. Now they're saying these tanks go invisible. Now in the newest articles they're not saying that, but here basically they must have some type of cloaking technology on these tanks which won't be manned at all. Remember that. And they're saying they can destroy cities within minutes.
I gotta say something, because this is very bad news, man. Damn. This is crazy. But listen, right? If this is possible, then that means this is the AI that that guy that has all the AI robots. You know, he's a pretty smart guy. He has the mark of the beast chip that goes in your brain. I keep forgetting his name, but don't you think AI would turn on humans? It would even turn on mankind. It would turn on anything that was on the earth. Think about that. The minute AI figures out that it doesn't need people, y'all finished. What y'all need to do is stop the bullshit. And you're gonna go to war, and get it over with, which you really shouldn't be doing, but you're gonna do it anyway. So I don't understand why in the world would you make robots. But see, they so dumb they do something like that. And then they go Terminators and robots, turning on the government and the people. Whose fault is it? The government. How funny would it be? Food for thought. There's videos where there's been spaceships, that's right, I said it, hovering over nuclear facility sites. Literally, somehow digitally taking over the controls to get a missile ready for launch frequency. You hear that? You hear that, people? Yeah. Which means that if these spaceships and these entities, these demons that are in spaceships can do that, like I'm pretty sure the Creator can do that, if they can do that. But what if the Creator allows them to do that? What if the Creator allows them to take over all these robots that they keep making? Even jump into them and live inside them and do things that they couldn't do without a physical body. Eden, the Creator is right. He doesn't have to do anything to destroy you. Your way is going to destroy yourselves. And you will truly know that it was the Creator when this happens. Those robots will destroy even the alien demons. You watch. They keep it up. I can understand why he said, if I don't shorten the days, there'll be no flesh. To blow the smithereens off the earth.
So again, we already know how much they want you to be in fear and everything else, but this is not a joke really when it comes down to what we're talking about here, because we're talking about tanks and robotic AI units now. Vladimir Putin's fearsome special unit of tank robots will go into action soon in the Russian army amid fears of war in Ukraine. So war in the area of Ukraine right now is not going to be some simple war. Like we always said, the next war will be a technological one, and they've been saying this for the longest. There's some images of the robot tank that supposedly can go invisible. Russia's preparing to deploy its first unit of 5 Uran 9 in the near future. Says the first special unit. They already said they are deploying it now. The first special unit of tanks is to be established on the Russian army.
Remember the scripture, not one arrow will miss. The Bible talks about that in Revelations. Now we know how. Computers, machines like this, they usually don't miss.
I mean, new strains of war in the neighboring Ukraine. They're already doing it. So they're already pretty much deploying it. The last article showed you that. This next article was a little bit earlier, so it's not telling you what I just told you. So, and somebody says, whoever resists the shadow of the Almighty will be protected. Exactly, we have to remember to commit our spirits and souls to the battle. Now, guess what they're saying on the other fronts? Look at South China Morning Post. Warmongering U.S. Let's go over here. Let's pull this article up a little bit more. Warmongering U.S. will have to accept a new world order with China and Russia. I'm going to move me over here so you can see some of this article, and then I'm going to pull me down a little bit. they have to accept a new world order with China, Russia, and the EU alongside. Very bold statement. They just come out flat out and tell you. And remember, this has everything to do with the Great Reset agenda. You can't have a Great Reset without the actual reset happening with war and everything else involved. So it's time to definitely pray. It's definitely time to get your life in order. And basically, it's time to get everything intact when it comes down to knowing that we're under domestic war already. Even though the global conflict hasn't escalated, it's slowly doing that. So it's the time of the light and the spiritual beings to actually come to the light and fruition of who they are. And to remember that protection is still going to guide us through whatever happens in civilization. So it says, American allies' eagerness for economic cooperation with China shows U.S. would be foolish to assume their blind obedience in the case of conflict in time. The U.S. will come to understand that seeking greater consensus and cooperation with China and Russia is its best interest. Basically saying, accept the global agenda, accept the China model system that was in the documents for the global governance that I've already read for years. This was the model. They said lots of countries won't accept the New World Order model of China and everything else, but we're going to try to force that issue, and this is what it is right now. This is what we're seeing. So I go into another article. Another thing that could be affected heavily is the data systems going into this strategic combat that they're already talking about. Why? Because here they are talking about cutting undersea cables. Russia, and remember the underwater wars we talked about yesterday. I put a video out of what's going on. And it says April 8, 2021, Red October. Putin's stealth subs could cripple Britain by cutting undersea internet cables as Russia launches new Arctic front. Now, if that was to happen, obviously Europe will be affected. The United States has its own undersea cables, but don't you think in that scenario they would be trying to cut the cables as well to the U.S.? So it's basically underwater operations going to be happening. Just like I said, China has its underwater military base. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I did a video yesterday. You can check out. I'll put that at the end. Somebody says, thank you for the info. No problem. I'm always here. And Monday through Friday, tell people JWTV show. You have to heftily share the video out. You have to spread it. You have to massively spread it. If you don't, then most people don't know. And they say, well, man, this is a great channel. I don't know why. I was like, well, the greatest people don't get promoted as much. And that's just how the system works. Right. For the most part, people can't sit down and save their life anyway, so that's another reason why the videos don't get pushed and recommended even further. True. So we gotta keep that in mind here, which means, what does that mean? Maybe you need to have a signal operation, a signal booster or whatever, or a separate signal that you can get for when things do go down through the scenario of this happening. So what's the U.S. doing? Everything is being talked about in Russia, Ukraine. Well, they got their combat vehicles, which is going to be unmanned as well. But they were telling us, I remember this report, U.S. Army preparing robotic combat vehicles. This is kind of symbolizing what's to come for big tests with soldiers in 2022. Now, what's the big test? Right now, we can see the alignment of what's happening in every zone where everybody's doing their drills and getting everything prepared. The big test, I guess in their mind, they're saying 2022, they know for a fact that they'll be going into this conflict. But 2021 is the upbringing, the uprising of the conflict right now as we see it. So the U.S. is going to be pulling out robot tanks. I told you the military chief, one of them said, just get rid of your, even though I'm just making his voice right now, I don't know how he actually said it, get rid of conventional weapons, And basically he's saying get rid of all the old weapons, get rid of everything, and then go into the advanced weapon systems. Go to the sci-fi wars, basically. Think it's a joke?
He's an idiot.
Think it's a game. Like that one thing you said. I forgot the name of it. Think it's a game? U.S. military is not like, again, I have to keep humor. It's not that I'm trying to make everything like it's funny and nothing like that. It's just stay humorous. U.S. military must accelerate use of artificial intelligence, JAIC chief said. So this is when they were saying that. This was 2021. They already said, let's get the robot wars ready. You got Japan with the freaking robot that's straight out of freaking Power Rangers or something like that. So if everything goes down, you can guarantee they're going to just pull out everything. The final plan to pull out robot tanks, everything else, underwater operations happening. Basically, asymmetrical warfare already happened on the people. And then the biological agenda, I already told you, they won't give you any warning of that. I did a bunch of videos talking about every little piece of aspect that could potentially be laid out in this scenario to give people the
That's right.
pretty much outlook of the war table that they're pretty much laying out in front of us. So, reason why I put that as the thumbnail was because it says Vladimir Putin is building a robotic humanoid tank. So we're hearing about these invisible tanks and everything else, but we didn't hear that they're going to be pulling out the humanoid robot tanks, which is told to us about in 2019. Let's go down and look at it.
Transformers.
So I don't know how it could be humanoid or whatever. It's kind of weird to even say that, but they got a lot of stuff that's being hidden, and basically after this comes out, we got to keep watching the Ukraine situation to see what happens, because they're basically escalating on every level when it comes down to that. You know, Biden's not going to stop. He doesn't really care. He just wants to go in. He wants to escalate the New World Order, and he's probably helping it become. You know, it's not that you're actually fighting back, and maybe they're fighting back, but they're set up for a war that was already determined for a great reset. So that's my take on it. Somebody says we are at war. Somebody says F Terminator, RoboCop. So make sure you share this out, please. Please share it out.
I can't believe
and basically what I was saying is I still got to make the move pretty soon, so that's going to happen within next week. So if you can, please, the link to donate to support the move is still below. I'm still short. I probably had about a good 35 or 36 donators. I'm just hoping that a couple of you get off the fence, make the donation. I've been doing this since 2017. I'm pretty sure some of you have been watching. I'll give you helpful information. So just this once, I'm asking once again, please hit the donation link today, PayPal. That will help out a lot, because I'm 900 short still from the goal that I was trying to reach. So thanks for tuning in, everybody. This is a live report. Please get it out, and I'll be back with more information. I promise you I will drop the Inner Earth thing, but it won't be this week. I got some more research to do on that. So videos on the right, videos over there where you can find all the other information that need to be revealed, and I will be getting into more information coming up today. Thanks for tuning in.